What's up, guys? Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, December 21st. Just got off the water. Spent most of the day trying to catch them on a jig. Morning, not so great. Last about hour and a half. Surprisingly good. Don't know if it was just the change in the bank or if it was just getting later in the day and maybe the fish moved up. One of the two definitely happened, but we'll get into that a little bit later. As far as our lake level is concerned, we're at 914.81, which puts us 2/10 basically below normal pool, which means we came up a couple of feet. Got, I think, between 2.5 and 3.5 inches of rain down here, so pretty good rain. Brought the lake up, so I'm sure that means the Corps is going to be running it non-stop as long as they can. Try to get this back down below pool, get beaver below pool, bull shoals below pool. From what I understand, they're kind of changing their water management plan for beaver, and it's going to affect all the lakes downstream as well. So that's kind of what's going on there. Water temperature today was 53.8 when I launched and 54.5 when I pulled off the water. Water up here's got a little bit of color to it, so I think that probably is why it warmed up so much in that 5 or 6 hours I was on the water. But you know, it's not really dropped a whole lot. We did get some colder rain, cooled off a little bit. The colder nights have cooled it off a little bit, but it's really not dropping fast. But best way to stay on top of what's going on, of course, join Table Rock Fishing Intel, become a pro member, get the daily reports, weekly reports, all the videos. We're in the process of posting a bunch of videos on the deep bite that's going on right now. So that will certainly help you if you are wanting to learn how to fish deep. But if you're coming down, say you want to fish the lower end of the lake, best bite going on down there by far is the deep bite. It continues to be probably the best bite on the lake. I specifically went out today up here at Shell Knob trying to find something a little bit different, but with either a Kitech swim bait, jewel scuba spoon, Rapala jigging wrap, drop shot rig, Demiki rig, whatever you like to throw or whatever they want to bite. That's definitely been the best bite. Most of these fish are back in the creek arms where you can find shad. You find big schools of shad, you will find fish around them. And those fish are definitely willing to bite when you get around those fish. So most of the fish I'm catching, I'd say on average, they're 40 to 60 feet deep. The overall depth, honestly, guys, anything from 60 to 130 feet. It doesn't seem to matter. It's just wherever the shad are and wherever the fish are relating to the shad. So keep that in mind. Get a windy day, that crankbait bite is starting to turn on again. I know you get a good windy, cloudy day and you can catch them on a rock crawler or a wigglewort. That sort of thing's going to happen as well. Go in the mid-lake area, same deal. The deep bite's definitely going to be your strongest bite, mostly in the creek arms, wherever you can find shad, scuba spoon, Demiki rig, swim bait, ice bait, and drop shot rig. All those are working. Again, you've got to find the shad. You find those deeper schools of shad. Those big schools of shad deep are key. Finding the little schools doesn't seem to help you much, but finding those big schools of shad makes a huge difference. Overall depth, 50 to 150. Doesn't really matter. It just matters where the shad are and how the fish are relating to them. And the best thing I can tell you is have all 5 or 6 baits that you like to drop laying on your deck. Be ready to drop something different if they're not reacting the way you want them to on the bait that you drop initially. Crankbait bite has been working a little bit there. Again, you've got to have a windy day. Clouds certainly help. Most of these fish are on mixed rock and gravel, steeper banks, 45 degrees, some of them even a little bit steeper. And a little bit of cover helps on that crankbait bite as well, either a rock pile or a brush pile, something like that you can bang the crankbait in. Seems to trigger a strike there. Up the James, there's a deep bite up the James as well if you want to go chase them deep. Jig bite's been pretty strong up the James with a Jewel Pro Spider jig or a heavy cover football jig. Most of those fish are coming on mixed rock and gravel banks. Steeper banks are definitely a key. Most of the jig fish that I caught today and I caught up the James last week, most of those fish have been in that 12 to about 18 foot of water. A little bit more color in the water with the rain, so you definitely could start to see those fish a little bit shallower. Haven't been up there since it rained, so they may be a little bit shallower. especially with these sunny days and warm days we're going to have. They will probably move up shallower by the weekend. Go up in the White River where I am today. You know, deep bite is good. I fished deep for about, I don't know, 30-40 minutes today using a Taneycomo rig and a Rapala jigging wrap, and I think I caught 5 or 6 deep. Like I said earlier, I came down here to, or up here I guess, to try to catch some fish on a jig, trying to do something a little bit different because I'm not getting tired of the deep bite, but just want to keep options open and have different options. Fished a jig for about the first 3-4 hours and never had a sniff. I didn't even get a bite the first 3 or 4 hours. Fished pretty much every type of bank you could think of. Moved out, fished deep in the gut of a couple of creeks up here, and most of the fish I caught today were deep, were in that 45 to 65 foot range, over about 75 or 80, and again they were relating to shad. I ran 3 creeks, found one creek that had a good population of shad in it, and I was able to catch some fish on a Taneycomo rig and an ice bait, but I imagine you could catch them on a scuba spoon, drop shot rig, swim bait, whatever you want to drop down to them, you can probably catch them on. The jig bite, the last hour I was out, it's about 2 o'clock right now, so between 1 and 2 I had 7 fish on a jig. 5 of them were keepers, all of them on a 5/16 Jewel Pro Spider jig and bass whacker, and all of them came between 8 feet and I'd say 18 or 20 foot deep. All of them off of one stretch of bank that was a little bit steeper than a 45-degree chunk rock, big rock, and gravel mix bank. And every fish I caught today on a jig, I was pulling it through a rock pile or some other debris on the bottom. It wasn't necessarily a brush pile, but you know, a log or something on the bottom. The fish were definitely relating to cover, but you know, those fish, I never felt a bite on any of them. They just picked it up and swam off with it. So there is a jig bite. It seems, at least today, it was better later in the day. I had hit that bank earlier in the morning and not gotten a bite on it, and figured I'd hit it one more time before I came in, and sure enough, that's where they were. Kind of left them biting too. You know, it's going to get dark and I got to get home, so kind of left them biting there as well. I think that last probably, from 1 o'clock till dark is probably your prime time jig bite right now, at least up here it is. Guys, Merry Christmas, so I don't forget to say that since we are towards the end of December. I don't know if this, we'll have one more report before the end of the year, but Merry Christmas, been a great year. Really appreciate all the support on Focus Fishing and the support on Table Rock Fishing Intel. It's growing. We've got some more things in the works. Got some cool stuff coming for you on there, and of course, best way to know about that, join Table Rock Fishing Intel. Be a pro member and you get access to everything we got to offer on there. So keep that in mind. If you have not joined already, you certainly want to take a look at joining Table Rock Fishing Intel. But if you're coming down, want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email, book online. Either way, I get back to you as soon as I can. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Again, check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you haven't. But thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.